Hello, everyone. Thank you guys for tuning in for another week. This is episode 4. As you guys know, I'm John, and Yvette will be answering all the questions this week. So, with that being said, we'll get started. What made you stay committed through incarceration?
I mean, it wasn't really an issue. Like, it was our chemistry and just you becoming my best friend and the peace.
Was there ever temptation?
No.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Hmm. Okay. Just curious. Gotta ask. Gotta ask.
No, there was no temptation.
Hmm. Okay. Let's go to the next question. Okay. With question number 2, how did your relationship grow while I was in prison?
Um, I think what really, really helped was the darn tablets. Because while I was at work, like I was able to text you if it was just something quick, like, I was able to always like get a message from you, like, hey, I'm going out to yard. So I think it really helped with our communication and as far as like making it grow, and just being open and honest with each other about like things we've been through and just relating on a lot of different things.
Hmm. Pretty good. Pretty good. All right. Well, the next question is, what helped you keep the connection alive when his physical presence wasn't possible?
um we can't talk about that on camera.
Sure. Why not? We're gonna be
No.
open.
um a lot of intimate time over the phone and imagination.
Sorry, mom. Sorry if you're watching. Anyways, next question: how did you deal with loneliness and emotional ups and downs?
How did I deal with it? I just try to keep busy as much as possible. I think it's like easier said than done because you just find yourself um, like getting bored a lot of times. But I think if you really want the relationship to work, then I think it's not hard. But I did like I used to get sad like seeing my friend and like her husband, like I was telling you earlier today, like they got to be at home together like every day for dinner, and like they just got to like grow their little family and stuff like that, go on these family trips and stuff. And I was always their third wheel, so um they came a lot into play with keeping me busy while you were gone, but it was still sad to see because that's what I wanted.
Very understandable. Very. The next question would be, were there moments you wanted to give up, or what pulled you through?
To be honest, there was a couple of moments where I questioned myself to see if this was something that I like really wanted or if it was like my feelings. Like I was just, I did feel lonely, but what really like pulled me through is just like your reassurance on.
You ready?
Mm,
It's a good question, though. I think a lot of people in, are pretty, I think a lot of women, I should say, will want to know this question,
okay.
or want to know the answer, I should say.
Okay.
What advice would you give to a woman feeling emotionally exhausted or unsupported?
Oh, I would say what I tell everybody that I talk to is give yourself grace. Because you have a lot on your plate, you're going through a lot, you are trying to sort out like your feelings while you're trying to keep someone else's feelings in check while they're in such a um, secluded area for a long time with the same people, same routine. So um, definitely give yourself grace and be patient with yourself, be patient with your relationship, and just know that if it's meant to be, it's meant to be. Even as cliche as it sounds. So I think that's what I can say. Give yourself grace.
Okay. How did you explain or talk about your relationship to your family and friends?
um, I mean, my friends, they just know I'm always doing something different. So they weren't shocked when they found out. But my aunt, my aunt probably wanted to strangle me for a minute and then really realized I was actually really happy and I just was turning over a new stone and going into a part of my life that is well deserved. It took my mom some getting used to. Um, that was a little crazy, but um, it's worked out pretty well, and we've definitely beat the odds. So I don't really think it's like I don't know. I think it's fine now.
Okay. What role what role did your support system play in your journey?
um, they played a really big role. Every time I was sad, like I said, like my friends always invited me over. I would literally just walk into their house and be like, "All right, I'm here. Like, what movie are we watching today?" Or they would listen to me when I would talk, or if those 15-minute phone calls came through, um, they sat there and waited patiently for me to do that 15-minute phone call, or it wasn't even a 15-minute phone call. You were like really, really good as far as like, oh, you're with your friends, like I'll call you later, or you know, we had a schedule, so it was really nice. But they played a big role as far as listening to me, and I think that's what you need is just somebody to listen to you when your man's locked up.
Okay. Here's another good one. What would you say to a mom, sister, or a best friend who doesn't understand your decision to stay?
um I would say it's my life. I'm gonna love who I want to love, and if you guys support me the way you guys say you do, then this is something you guys would support me
Hmm, good.
on.
Good. All right. What's something you wish more people would understand about loving someone who's incarcerated?
What I wish they would understand more is that I ain't gonna lie, a lot of people who are incarcerated can actually be really, really intelligent. So, um, there's not a lot of people who really see that. And I think they need to see past the bars, past the walls, past you know, the gates and everything and where the environment is. And then once you get to really know somebody, that's when you know that that they're not who they say they are. The stigma is not who they are, and it doesn't define who that person is as a person.
I truly believe that.
So,
Okay, here's another one. What are some of the most frustrating parts of navigating CDCR or prison visits?
oh my god, the dress code. I know everybody can relate to dress code. I freaking hate the dress code. Making sure something's not too tight, making sure it's not a certain color, making sure you have a jacket over yourself, or just something ridiculous like that. But thankfully, like Folsom was pretty simple for the most part. I think I only had like one issue with Folsom. And then Pleasant Valley was pretty simple. Like I literally went in sweats and a red shirt, and they were perfectly fine. So I think it really depends on the institution that your loved one is at. But prison visits, CDCR was not too bad for me. I didn't really have to deal with them. You were pretty good, so didn't have to call them a whole lot.
Okay. Did did you ever feel judged, and how did you handle that?
Um, yes, I felt judged all the time because, again, the stigma of what society puts on incarcerated people makes it really hard to fit society's mold. But once you understand that it you're not made to fit society, then you really just don't care anymore. So I think it's a lot easier that way. But then also, I still feel like we get judged because I think we were so private with our relationship, and now we're stepping out with it a lot more. Um, I feel like sometimes people want the backstory of like, why did you go to prison? Why did you guys meet in prison? How did you meet in prison? Like they want the whole 21 questions answered. So it's just really learning to accept the fact that you don't have to answer those questions and you don't have to let them know your why. So as long as you're happy, that other person's happy, you guys are in love, and you guys are faithful to your guys' relationship, that's all that matters.
Can't say that any better. What's the number one piece of advice you'll give to someone just starting this journey?
Oh, get a quarter machine. I just like, I would say the best piece of advice I could give somebody is not to be so hard on yourself and still live your life. I think still living your life um, will help you get through it so fast. I think it just goes by once you still continue to do you. So definitely do you. Don't stop your life. You know, just because your loved one is incarcerated, you're not serving time. Like I hate when people say that. You're not serving time. You're not. You don't have to do anything that your loved one who's incarcerated does, and your freedom's not taken away from you. So I know it may get some backlash for that, but you're not serving time. You are out here, you are free, you're free to work, you are free to live, you are free to live your life and still be in love with someone or support somebody who's incarcerated. So
How has life changed now that Daddy is home? I mean, me.
How life has changed since you've been home. We're literally busy every freaking second of the day. There's literally not a minute that we're not busy. It's either us working or us doing something for our child or school or a function, a family function, a friend function, you going on a state. Something's always happening to where we're doing something constantly, and I don't know how life got so busy as soon as you got home because that routine changed so quick.
Yeah, sure did.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Is that it?
All right, girls. So I know, and audience, I guess everybody. So I know I didn't have as much questions, like as far as Johnny did. As he's the one with the more prison experience. But what I could definitely offer you guys is a listening ear because I do know how hard it is to support somebody while they're incarcerated when it comes from funds and how to do things and, dealing with visits and back and forth and visiting forms and, just making sure everything is squared away for them and, and for yourself too. So I'm a really big advocate of putting yourself first so you can definitely take care of everybody around you and like who you support. So I definitely want to do put that extend that olive branch out to everybody as far as like if you need advice, I'm always here. Johnny's here. And if you just need a listening ear, my DMs are always open. Um, some of you guys have me on Instagram, and some of you guys have my phone number. So definitely, I'm always here to hear it whatever time of the day. And if I'm not available at that time, I know I always get back to you. So definitely here for the support. So definitely hope you guys all win this together.